Hey there, it's Michelle Spiva, and I am coming to you with day number 25 of my Leader of One preparation month. If you've been following along with me, then you know if you're doing this in live time, we took a day off yesterday, and I'm going to tell you, oh my gosh, I took my advice and I did some recuperative respite. And yeah, today has been different. It's been great because I have been looking at not with a detachment, but just a different perspective of what it feels like to get back into a momentum when having taken a break. And I am so happy to report that my respite day did not have the normal guilt that I have. If you're a workaholic, you may understand what I'm talking about. You might be like, oh my gosh, I could be doing X, Y, and Z. But no, I didn't have that. I read some books, caught up with family, did all the great things that you do during a holiday break, and just had a really, really great time because I feel it today. I mean, I'm not going to say today is one of my best productive days, but it wasn't so hard getting back into the momentum of what we're doing. And that was different. That was different, being able to have that on my side. So, um, be happy. Be happy now. That is one of the main takeaways that I gleaned from taking a break. And we're in the last like 6 days of trying to finish up some of the stuff trying to finish up the things that we said we we're going to do this month. And I found that when I was getting back into the groove of things today, I was like, I was so concentrated on getting my momentum back so fast and getting back in. And then I was like, no, I'm missing it. And I had to slow down a little bit and not just focus on, okay, at this time I'm supposed to be meditating. At this time I'm supposed to be walking. At this time I'm supposed to be X, Y, Z or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to trust body wisdom and I'm going to just figure out what I need. And it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks, and it was, your power is in your ability to command and control your happiness. Now, I tend to stay away from quote unquote happiness, but when I talk about happiness, I'm encapsulating peaceful, joyful happiness. Because to me, happiness coming from happenstance means that it's like a toss up, you may or may not get it. And that's how I used to interact with happiness. But now, I have, not now, but over the years, I've kind of like updated or evolved my encounters with happiness. And that is, I can create and command happiness in my life and in my state of being because I am fully engaged as much as I can be at that time to hone in on what really is priority, what really is important. When I talk about being happy now, I look at things like nothing is guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed to take another breath. You're not guaranteed to take another breath. Nothing is guaranteed. And so because of that, I feel very, very certain that we can command happiness, because if you know that you really only have this time, a lot of people talk about it being in the moment, but what I really believe being in the moment is simply pausing and understanding that this is the perfect moment to live the best impression, the best exhibition of your life. And so my day went a little different. I mean, I did, some work and stuff, but I found like I was like, there was a different type of drive to what I was doing. And I mean, I caught myself smiling more and all of this. And I'm going to tell you, taking 25 plus days to get to the point where I have this revelation that I need to be happy now, and it's in my control for the most part. Yes. I started thinking about this book by Viktor Frankl. I think it's In Search of the Meaning of Man. I've read it a long time ago. But there was a part in it where it was just really, it was excruciating to hear his interpretation of what was happening to him. And Viktor Frankl was a psychologist, a Nazi camp survivor. And he talked about how they tortured him and the things they did to him. And in the midst of that, they would like do stuff to him with no anesthesia and just be operating on him with nothing, him awake. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he said, even in those moments, he looked at them and he forgave them. He was like, I don't think you know what you're doing. And he was able to tap into something. And I think that as I'm talking about it, it's so powerful because a lot of times it's easy to be happy when there's not when there's not a physical pain or an emotional pain. But just being able to go through his journey and read his treatise of what he went through in excruciating times of peril and just torture, I'm more convinced now than ever that when we endeavor to do what we say we're going to do, we need to fight for our happiness. What is that saying? This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me and the world can't take it away. I think 25 days in, I have gotten to that point where it has a different, it's unveiled itself in a different way for me, that I have to be happy. My happiness is not connected to the end goal of finishing. Yes. Oh, yes. When I finish up the projects that I have for this month, I'm going to be happy. But I'm also going to be happy right now. And maybe my happiness when I finish up these projects and type the end on some books and get some other stuff finished, maybe it'll be a different kind of happiness. But for today and in the right now, the big takeaway, and it's sad that it took a day of just rest and recuperative respite to get to the point of not be happy. Be happy at all you're doing. And so if you're following me out there, I want you to know nothing is guaranteed. Nothing. Your life can change in an instant. I was reading this article that talks about the millisecond miracle. And it talks about how your success is predicated on 1 millimeter, 1 millisecond. I mean, it's so minuscule. They talk about how the winning shot in golf is predicated by 1 millimeter here or there. They talk about how the difference between life or death in a car accident is 1 millimeter. Arriving 1 millisecond. So it's that minuscule that nothing is guaranteed. So why not go on and be happy? One of the things that I am realizing with this happiness that I have, and I hate to say it, but yeah, this morning I decided to conjure up my happiness. It wasn't a fake it till you make it sort of thing. It was I have a repository of feelings and thoughts and experiences that I am going to go and tap into. Because, this brain is spectacular, but it can be easily manipulated. And so I started thinking about some of the things, the times that I had great peace, joy, and happiness. And I started bringing them up and bringing them to the forefront. And I realized anew that that's why we get memories. We get the opportunity to sift through, sort through what will help us in times of need. And so I want to encourage you to do that as well. And the next thing I want to also say is, if stuff is not working, find another way. That was another thing that I had with this revelation of just be happy. Be happy. Claim your peace and your joy. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't care if you miss the mark 100 times, 1,000, a million times. Find another way. There's always another way. In our happy state, in our peaceful, joyful state of what we're doing, failures and successes are treated the same. If you miss the success by a millimeter or a millisecond, find another way to get to the millimeter or the millisecond. And that's what I am doing. I'm not looking at it now, today at least, and I might, it's probably certain that I'm going to fight it tomorrow or even tonight when I'm like, oh, I only have 6 more days, I got to hurry up. But I'm going to remind myself, be happy. Nothing's guaranteed. Be happy for this moment you have right now. Make the best of it. And if something is not working, find another way. So I know that I'm not freaking out is what I'm saying. I'm not freaking out like I normally would. And I'm really thankful that I had a day off to get away from this so that this powerful message could come to me. I'm hoping that it comes to, whomever it's needed that you watch this. And I just want to say something. Yesterday, like I said, being able to take some time off, relax, sift through some things and stuff. It was amazing. So I looked at a lot of the stuff of what's getting attention. I love to track where people's hearts and minds and thoughts are. And I'm like, we are in a season where we are supposed to be exacerbating the merriment, the merriment of this time. They talk about the holiday spirit, Christmas spirit, Merry Christmas, happy holidays and all of those. And it was very, very obvious to me that the most attention was going to either the gloomiest of stories or going to reveling in other people's misfortunes, whether it be by gossip, by, bullying, whatever it was. And it took me aback. And I pondered on it a little bit. And then I realized that for a lot of people, any attention is better than none. It came to me that yesterday when I was, looking around and doing stuff, I was like, you know what? People want to be a part of something. They want to feel, they want to know that they're alive and all this. And even if it means going and spending your time on websites and news stations that just give you doom and gloom all day long, or if it's going to gossip sites and reading about other people's misfortunes or whatever, it's crazy. There was one site I went to, and it was new for me. Like I said, I was just following my trail, not really trying to do any kind of study because this was a relaxing day. And it's one of those sites where it tells you how many people viewed it, liked it, or thumbs upped it, or whatever. It wasn't Reddit. And it was amazing to me that the ones that got the most likes, the most attentions, the most movement was where there was opportunity for people to bicker. This whole team thing is just astounding to me. And I don't want to get too far off, but what I'm saying is even in being happy, even in being a leader of one, we still cannot ignore that we are a part of something. We are a part of this community, this universe, this world. And I just want you to understand, because I'm going to be talking about what leading means, even when nobody's following you. But I want you to understand what's going on out there so that you can be wise to the wiles of the world. Just because everybody is following and doing one thing does not mean that we have to do it if we're going to be a leader of one. Because eventually, what's going to happen? Eventually, people are going to snap back and they're going to need to have direction. They're going to need to have influence in their lives to help them come back, because I hate to say it, a lot of times it's easier to be led than it is to lead. And so going through becoming a leader of one means that you're going to eventually, if not already, be a leader to some or many. So just get ready. Get ready. That's why you got to learn how to claim and be happy now. No matter what's going on, no matter who is doing what, you got to learn how to maintain control and manage your own happiness. Doesn't matter if you're in pain, whether it be emotional, physical, financial, social, whatever. You got to learn this stuff. And I'm saying this to me. I mean, I know it, but then, do you really know it? Because we've talked about the difference between knowing and doing. They can be far between. And so I just wanted to leave you with this little nugget today. Be happy now. Don't wait. And you are totally within the scope and realm of your ability to do that. And I'm going to tell you something. The more we work on exercising that muscle, exercising that mental component, it becomes easier and easier for us to call it up at will. There's so much I could say about this, but I just want you to know, to whom much is given, much is required. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're leading a lot of people, but when you say you're going to stop the buck here and lead yourself and not get led around like sheep, not get forced into herd mentality, and you're going to do something for yourself, trust me, these are the leadership skills that you're going to come up against, and you're going to have to figure out how to handle them and how to do it. So with that being said, this has been Michelle for day number 25. Guess what? I'm going to see you tomorrow. And as usual, if you want to join the group or become a sponsor, the links are in the description. I am going to ask you to comment, like, share, support this if you found any value in it and you believe that it'll help somebody else. And so thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.